Hey there Wanderers, how are you doing? You can see that today I am in my Ingham's uniform, and that is because I'm here to speak to you about working a ski season. I was working a ski season in Austria, in Saalbach-Hinterglemm. It's got 200 kilometers of pistes, and it was great. I was working for Ingham's, which are part of Ski Total. If you want to have a look at what they can offer for jobs, go to workaseason.com, which is quite easy to remember. Ingham's are quite a well-known brand, I suppose. They mostly do kind of middle-class holidays, they're package holidays, so people just pay the amount and they'll get their flights, their transfers, their accommodation, all of their food, even wine with your meal. So it is pretty good. Everyone's normally quite happy, which is good when you're working a ski season. I wasn't working in a chalet. I was working in what's known as a chalet hotel, and I was a hotel assistant, which is kind of the bottom rung of the scale, I suppose. I was given the roles of housekeeping, I was given the role of a waiter, and also partway through the season we had one of our pot washers leave, and so the hotel assistants were alternating roles once a week to be a pot wash as well, or kitchen porter, but really we were just washing dishes, to be honest. So let's get into the discussion of the good and the bad of working a ski season. I'll start with the bad, and that's because it's good to get out of the way. The job is shit. Sometimes you wake up and you do not want to go to work, and you're hungover. That's our fault, of course, but there were days when we would get in at 5:30 in the morning and then go to sleep, and it took us 20-25 minutes to get to work, and we would start at 7, so we were up at 6:15. Sometimes you go into work, you're hungover, you don't want to deal with the guests, you've got to put on that face that's, good morning sir, hi. It can be really difficult. But at the same time, if you can get through that, it's not too bad. Housekeeping was the worst part of the job. There was days when I actually opened a door and it was so messy. Like in one day, they had honestly just opened their suitcases and it looked like they'd just thrown things across the room. There were towels hanging from the lights. Honestly, I can't even begin to explain how terrible it was. I got my assistant manager and was like, just can you come have a look at this room? She looked at it, she was like, oh my god, I don't even know what to do. So we got the manager and she just said, don't clean it. It was that bad. But there's also really horrible things you find in a room, like condoms, cum tissues, just like, but you deal with it. One of the other shifts would be transfer day, which is Saturday. Transfer day was awful. I know that so far I've said quite a few things are awful, but I'll get to the good things in a minute. Transfer day is from 7 AM until you finish, which is like 11. You would get up, serve breakfast, say goodbye to all of the guests you've had that week, and then you would immediately start housekeeping after breakfast and pretty much go all day, because you're deep cleaning every single room in the building, essentially. The latest we finished that was something like 5:30. We had a shower at the hotel in the staff accommodation, had dinner at 6 till 6:30, and then started work. The earliest we finished that was about 3, which did give us the 3 hours until 6, but there's still not that much you can do in that time. Once Saturday was out the way, you had the whole week to enjoy again. One of the not so good points, again, about working a ski season is the pay. I was being paid £218 per month. I was working 45 to 50 hours a week, quite easily. To me, £218 a month plus ski hire, ski pass and everything else that I got was fair. But I'll leave that down to your discretion. Working with Ingham's gave me free transfers to the hotel. They pay for all of my food, they pay for my accommodation, my ski hire, my ski pass, pretty much anything, even if we got a taxi or a bus from our accommodation to work. So that was really nice. If you wanted to, you could ski 6 days a week. You can ski a lot, and for free. You do meet a lot of amazing people. We were in this accommodation where all of the season workers were living, so we met crystal reps, Ingham's, of course, were us. Nielsen, just all different types of companies were all in the same accommodation, and it was amazing. We would go out together. You get discounts everywhere. You can go out to a bar or a club and say that you're a season worker and the prices drop right down. We were generally paying €1.50 or €2 for a beer, or white wine spritzers, whatever. Another great thing about working ski seasons, Wednesdays. Wednesdays are almost always going to be your day off, and they are amazing. You will make the most of every single Wednesday in whichever way you want. That may well be staying in bed until 3 p.m. because you are so hungover, or you just haven't slept like in ages, but that's okay. Some people will go out skiing all day, and then at the end of a Wednesday we almost always all go out together. It's great. On that note, the friends you meet on your ski season will be your friends forever. We had 17 staff in our hotel, and at first we all agreed not one person that we were with was the type of person that we'd be hanging out with in actual life. But by 1 month in, all of us were so tight, and I mean best friends. It's just like a family that you make out there, and it's amazing. The people you meet out there will be your best friends even if you don't want them to be your best friends. It just happens. You don't need to worry about not getting on with the people, because you will. It's really, really good. You might have the question, would I do another ski season? My answer to you immediately is no. And that's not for any reason other than I only wanted to do it once in the first place. I was quite happy with experiencing the sun and snow for 4 or 5 months and just getting in as much skiing as I could while working out there. I think a lot of people do go back because once you go on a ski season you just have the bug. You get the ski season bug and there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of like Wanderlust in that way. I hope this has been helpful to some of you out there. I really would recommend doing a ski season if it's something that you've been thinking about doing for a while. The pay isn't great, but the friends you'll meet will be unforgettable. The memories you'll make will be amazing. And that's about it, really. If you want to keep watching this, I've just got a little story about ski season that I'm going to tell you. It's probably my ski season story, but there are hundreds of stories we made over this season. Thanks, Wanderers. Ski season story. It was called the Barty. The barman and one of the reps had started dating, but one of the reps was transferred to another resort a few weeks before the end of our season, and the barman was granted the day off on Tuesday and Wednesday so that he could go and visit her, which was lovely. Because I was quite affluent in the bar, I was given the opportunity to look after the bar on the Tuesday night. This was the last week of our ski season and everyone was in really high spirits by this point. We also had a lot of guests who were younger and our age, and that was actually quite uncommon in our hotel, so it was really nice to have some people our age and people happy to go out into the bars with us and stuff. The Barty. I called it the Barty because I wanted to throw a party that everybody would remember, and I was in control of the bar, so we had a party in the bar, that's the Barty. I'm just going to give you a bit of backstory to this final week. We were making really good friends with everybody on their holiday this week, the younger people at least. I had started seeing this girl. I'd been staying in her room for most of the week, but also every single night we were either going out or just drinking in the hotel. And then at about 3 in the morning we would go downstairs to the bottom floor where we had a sauna, and we would just get in the sauna with our drinks and just, I don't know, just chill out, I guess. And then we would just go back to our rooms. It was really, really good. We didn't do that on the Saturday night, but we did that on the Sunday night. We did that on the Monday night, and you know, we were going to sleep I went to sleep on the Sunday at 6:30 in the morning, and then on the Monday night again I stayed up till 5:30 in the morning, and went to sleep, had about an hour, and then again started work. But then it was Tuesday. So I had got all of the staff to give me just €5. I went up to Spar, just up the road, and bought a ton of alcohol. I had like €110 worth or something, but alcohol was cheap. I had one of those like smaller size trolleys. I completely filled it up with alcohol and then couldn't carry it all home, so I had to push a trolley full of alcohol through the resort back to my hotel. And I got it and set it all up at the bar, and that was all for staff, so the staff could be at the party essentially for free. Great. One of the chefs that had recently arrived, he had replaced another chef that left. He, for some reason, decided to bring a light system with him on his ski season. So he sat that up behind the bar, and until like 3:30, we were just serving drinks while drinking. Half of us, the people that I got quite close to, like the guests, we all went downstairs into the sauna again, as we were doing on that week. We were there for about an hour, and then at 4:30 the fire alarm went off. I jumped up, ran upstairs. We had been taught the fire drill, like how to turn the fire thing off, and I pulled the shell off the thing, and I was putting in the code and pressing enter, and the machine just beeped at me, and I was like, okay, chill, put in the code again, enter, and it still didn't work. And I saw there was a button that said acknowledge, and I was like, oh, acknowledge, put in the code, enter, and it still didn't work. And then the shift supervisor comes up, and she literally, this is Dice, she pushes me out of the way, puts it in, turns it off. And at this point, like, half of the hotel come downstairs, and they're in the reception, which is right where the fire alarm system is. And there's this one lady, and she is absolutely irate. Like, only half of the guests heard the alarm. The guests that had come down were completely fine, except for this one lady. My roommate, Ed, was one of the reps there, and he had been in the upstairs section of the party, still in the bar, and he was trying to talk this lady down. She was there like, get me the manager on the phone, get me a manager, because they had gone home about 3 in the morning. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll call him. She calls our manager, who I won't name, and she doesn't answer. And so he's like, okay, I'll call the assistant manager, who had just gone home like 10 minutes ago. So he calls him up, and he answers the phone, and Ed's like, okay, here you go, here's our assistant manager. And the lady's speaking to him like, I can't believe there's no management here, the fire alarm's gone off, all of the staff are drunk. Like, she's just shouting down the phone to our assistant manager. And then there's like a 2-3 second pause. She's on the phone, and she goes, you're as drunk as they are. She throws the phone back at Ed, and she just storms upstairs. It was hilarious. The funniest thing. It was so great. And then everyone went to bed. We don't know why the fire alarm went off, but our general consensus is because we had been having the sauna on almost 24/7 that it just started to smoke. We didn't tell the guests that. We just didn't use the sauna for the rest of the season. My god, it was hilarious. That was a great week.